stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. expects more travelers would visit the Philippines if the country has more tourist rest areas or TRA. Senate President Juan Miguel Migzubiri shares reservations on the impending investigation of a Senate panel into the possible wiretapping of the Chinese embassy against a military official. Senate subcommittee started their regional consultation on proposed changes to the economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution. And Brazil's southernmost state, Rio Grande do Sul, plans to set up 4 tent cities to accommodate more than 8,000 residents currently in makeshift shelters due to the historic floods that devastated the region since late April. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, the 17th of May, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. reiterated that programs and projects to strengthen tourism in the country will continue to be promoted. According to PBBM, the establishment of tourist rest areas or TRA will greatly help the Philippines compete in Asia in attracting tourists. Nelma Ribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is expecting more tourists to visit the Philippines if the country has more tourist rest areas or TRA. Following the inauguration of the TRA in Saud Beach in Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte, the chief executive said the government will keep building more TRAs around the country in a bid to become a tourism powerhouse in Asia.
So this TRA is an important initiative for us, as we want to transform the Philippines into the tourism powerhouse in Asia. We are in very steep competition.
According to President Marcos, the government is eyeing a 10-fold increase in tourist arrivals from the original Balikbayan program. The Philippines Bayan program was enacted in November 1989 to attract and encourage overseas Filipinos to visit the Philippines. PBBM stressed that the initiative is crucial in transformation of Philippine tourism, as the government should also focus on providing the ease of traveling.
This is a very good example of the kind of approach that we have taken in trying to further the progress of the different sectors in government, and it is a concept that we have come to refer to as a whole of government approach.
Among the primary objectives of the TRAs are the enhancement of the overall tourism experience through essential services and amenities, as well as the showcase of Filipino artistry with local products and culturally inspired designs. Each TRA is equipped with tourist information and assistance center, restrooms, breastfeeding station, charging and workstation with internet connection, rest area, automated teller machine or ATM, dining area and pasalubong center, which features locally made products sourced from the locals. Nelma Ribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Coast Guard condemns scare tactic of China in the West Philippine Sea. This comes after the latter plans to detain what they call trespassers in the region. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
China issued regulations a day after a civilian mission by the Atin Ito coalition was conducted at Bajo de Masinloc, which is within the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. Based on the report by the South China Morning Post, the China Coast Guard may detain non-Chinese individuals suspected of illegally crossing China's borders for up to 60 days. The regulation is set to take effect in June. Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela, criticized China's directive, calling it illegal. He stated that this could be considered harassment Since Filipino fishermen are within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, and the Philippines has rights over the West Philippine Sea according to international law and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea or UNCLOS. He added China is merely intimidating to prevent civilian-led missions at Bajo de Masinloc. According to Makabayan Bloc lawmaker, House Deputy Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro, the Philippines has the right to apprehend trespassers, and it is China that is trespassing in our territorial waters and exclusive economic zone. Meanwhile, several lawmakers expressed admiration for the civilians who sailed to Panatag Shoal or Bajo de Masinloc amid China's intimidation. House Assistant Minority Leader and Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Sia Alonto Adyong stated that one does not need to be a public official to defend our rights in the West Philippine Sea.
Ito pong issue dyan sa West Philippine Sea, it doesn't have, you don't have to be a public official, an elected or appointed for that matter. It is a civic duty for each and every one of us who calls ourselves Filipino to support this administration in pushing for our rights over the West Philippine Sea.
Representative Benny Abante of Manila's 6th District criticized China for its actions in our EEZ.
We are just being a pawn in the motive of China to control the international trade, sapagkat more than 60% of all trades and fuel dumadaan doon sa international coastline natin, and they want to control that.
The Solon is also considering inviting fellow lawmakers to sail to the West Philippine Sea. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
All participants of the second civilian mission to Bajo de Masinloc have returned successfully and peacefully despite attempts by Chinese vessels to block the Philippine civilian mission. The group successfully delivered fuel and food aid to our fishermen in Bajo de Masinloc. The mission extended its gratitude to the Philippine Coast Guard for their escort and support, along with other partners. The Atin Ito coalition reiterated that their mission was not intended to challenge China, but to demonstrate that Bajo de Masinloc is part of Philippine territory. A pipe was installed in the middle of Bajo de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal. This was the report of the fishermen to the members of the civilian convoy who entered the 20 nautical mile territory of Bajo de Masinloc to provide assistance and goods. Ryan Lacanlale will tell us why.
A large pipe was buried by the Chinese within the reef of Scarborough Shoal. This detail was obtained by a civilian group that entered the 20 nautical mile area of Bajo de Masinloc and provide aid to fisherfolks.
Ngayon daw po, tinaboy na sila, hindi na sila pinapayagan doon kasi nagkaroon na ng activity sa loob. So may nakabantay na doon, mayroon nang itinatay yung tubo sa gitna ng Bajo de Masinloc.
According to Mark Figueras, the leader of the civilian group, who bravely faced the dangers to accomplish their mission, the fishermen reported that they have been prohibited by China from approaching the reef for about a month now.
Yung huling nakausap ko po bago matapos yung namin doon, umalis kami. Ang sinasabi nila sa akin, yun, kinokol ko po yung mga taga-gobyerno natin. 1 month bago mangyari ito, dati nakakadikit pa sila ng around mga 100 meters, 50 meters sa Bajo de Masinloc.
It's a puzzle for fishermen what the large pipe is for, as they have been prohibited from fishing nearby and have not received any information. Chinese Coast Guard vessels are also surrounding the perimeter of the reef, with 4 guarding the entrance and 5 PLA Navy vessels inside. Chinese fishermen are also reportedly asking Filipino fisherfolks when they fish in the perimeter of Scarborough Shoal. Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Senate chief has expressed reservations on the impending investigation of a Senate panel into the possible wiretapping of the Chinese embassy against a military official. Senate President Juan Miguel Migzabiri says he wants to consult first Defense Secretary Gibot Teodoro on the implications of the Senate probe to the country's national security. The lawmaker adds he will discuss the matter with his colleagues first in an executive session. Senator Francis Tolentino earlier announced that the Senate Committee on National Defense and Security, headed by Senator Jinggoy Estrada, will conduct the first hearing on the issue on May 21.
Kasi these discussions may expose us to sensitive matters na malalaman ng kabila, malalaman ng kalaban. So, kailangan pag-isipan natin yan na mabuti, pag-aralan natin yan na mabuti. Magdidiskusyon nga kami ng closed door with Secretary Gibo to make sure that no information is inadvertently released that will affect our national security stand and posture in the country. Yan ang napakalaga. Dapat yan ang bigyan ng napaka-importanting konsiderasyon bago magkaroon ng mga hearings na ganito.
Meanwhile, Teodoro says they will consult the Department of Foreign Affairs and will await the agency's investigation into the matter. He is also leaving to the DFA the clamor to expel Chinese embassy officials.
Hindi kami pwedeng mag-comment sa Senate processes, no? Hindi namin pwede pangunahan. Sa ganang amin sa Executive Department, nasabi na namin the lead agency conducting the investigation as to whether or not something is true, whether or not there was an improper contact is the DFA.
The Philippine National Police arrested the Canadian national tagged in 1.4 tons of shabu confiscated in Alitagtag, Batangas last April 15. Based on the police report reached Camp Crame, the suspect is Thomas Gordon O'Quinn, also known as James Toby Martin, was nabbed by the operatives of National Capital Region Police Office or NCRPO, Calabarzon Regional Intelligence Division, and the Bureau of Immigration in Tagaytay yesterday, May 16. Martin is reportedly wanted under an Interpol Red Notice for his alleged involvement in the export and distribution of illegal drugs in the United States. Authorities previously targeted Martin during a police raid at a residence in Nasugbu, Batangas on April 19, but failed to capture him. Seized from Martin were suspected shabu, cocaine, and suspected ecstasy. Authorities also confiscated 14 different identification cards bearing various names, 14 SIM cards, cellular phones, and 3,600 pesos in cash. Michael Ajalon Zarate confirmed that the photograph of Martin matches Thomas Gordon O'Quinn. Martin has now been subjected to inquest proceedings at the Department of Justice for violation of Section 11 of Republic Act 9165 or the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. PNP officials have so far declined to provide further details on the matter.
And for the news abroad, Brazil's southernmost state, Rio Grande do Sul, is planning to set up 4 tent cities to accommodate more than 8,000 residents currently in makeshift shelters due to the historic floods that devastated the region since late April. The state government aims to build the temporary structures in locations such as the state capital, Porto Alegre, nearby Canoas and São Leopoldo, and possibly the city of Guaiba. These will have individual bedrooms and collective bathrooms, kitchens, and laundry. It is estimated that 500,000 people have fled their homes and 77,000 are utilizing public housing. Vice Governor Gabriel Souza says thousands of people are presently camped in schools, churches, sports arenas. In response, the United Nations Refugee Agency, or UNHCR, has announced a donation of 108 modular housing units. Meanwhile, scientists warn that it may take a month or more for the floods to subside. According to state officials, the record floods have so far resulted in at least 151 deaths and 100 missing. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to Harleen.
Thank you, Marvi. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Senate subcommittee started their regional consultation on proposed charter change to the economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution. All inputs during the consultation period are expected to be incorporated once the subcommittee concludes its hearings and begins to writing the committee report. JP Nunez details why.
Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri emphasized that they are not rushing the amendment of the economic provision of the 1987 Constitution. Zubiri stressed that the Senate is not rushing this process, unlike the pressure they are receiving from the House of Representatives to finish it within a week. He stated that it is crucial to thoroughly dissect these amendments and clearly communicate them to the public. The Senate President explained that many Filipinos still do not completely understand the proposed changes to the economic provision of the Constitution. Senator Zubiri added that all the hearings that are being done and consultations like this will be in vain if this will not win the plebiscite.
Maski na naipasa po natin ito sa Senado, baka matalo ito sa plebisito. Yeah, if you have 88% against it, obviously, right now, kung magkaroon ng plebisito, talo ito. So sayang naman ang hirap na ginagawa po natin mga hearings at kung ano-ano pang consultations.
Zubiri has assured the public that the discussions currently taking place within the Senate subcommittee are focused solely on economic provisions. He clarified that there are no political provisions included in these talks.
RBH 6 hindi po political ito, hindi po pangmalawakang amendments. Only for RBH 6 which limits it to three portions of the Constitution, particularly on the advertising, open up advertising, education, and of course, public services.
Zubiri added that all these discussions and consultations would be in vain if the amendments are rejected in the plebiscite. Following the consultation in Baguio City, there will be subsequent sessions in Cebu City on May 23 and in Cagayan de Oro on May 24. The positions gathered from various resource persons during these sessions will be included in the committee report. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippines and Japan have signed an agreement to bolster the capabilities of the Philippine Coast Guard or PCG. Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo and Japanese Ambassador Endo Kazuya signed and exchanged diplomatic notes today, May 17, for the Official Development Assistance or ODA loan to finance the third phase of the PCG's Maritime Safety Capability Improvement Project. The project includes the purchase of 5 additional units of 97-meter multi-role response vessels, as well as the development of support facilities for the PCG worth 64.3 billion yen, or equivalent to approximately 23.8 billion pesos. The Department of Foreign Affairs says the asset will support the PCG in improving its capabilities for maritime operations, particularly in addressing transnational crimes. Manalo extends gratitude to the Japanese government for its unwavering commitment to deepen its bilateral ties with the Philippines and enhance the country's maritime safety capabilities. The Department of Transportation has clarified that the apprehension of unconsolidated jeepneys is an obligation of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA. JP Nunez will tell us why.
As the government commenced the apprehension of unconsolidated jeepneys, the Department of Transportation or DOTR reiterated that it is the obligation of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA to apprehend unconsolidated jeepneys which are considered colorum. DOTR reiterated that the agency doesn't need new guidelines on apprehending unconsolidated jeepneys.
Hindi na kailangan bigyan ng guidelines dahil talagang obligasyon, function talaga ng LTO, ng MMDA at ng kapulisan ang humuli ng mga kolorog or walang prangkisa.
On the official statement of the MMDA, the agency said they did not started apprehending unconsolidated jeepneys as the DOTR did not give them guidelines. MMDA said they can only flag down vehicles if they have moving violation. Meanwhile, on the first day of crackdown yesterday, May 16, the OTR have not received report of an apprehended unconsolidated jeepney. The agency believes that operators and drivers voluntarily ceased their operation knowing that their units will be impounded.
Sa report namin, wala akong report na may nahuli. Kung meron nahuli, hindi lang siguro nasabi sa opisina namin. Pero ang magandang ito is, mukhang kusa naman, yung mga hindi nag-consolidate ay hindi bumiyahe dahil wala na nga silang praktika.
DOTR advises transport leaders of Manibela and Piston to direct them to stop plying their routes to avoid 50,000 pesos of penalty, 1-year suspension of driver's license, and impounding of vehicle.
Siguro it's best na i-advise natin yung ating mga miyembro na dahil sa wala ng praktika, kunyari, ang sasakyan ay huwag nang ipasada para hindi magka-problema yung ating mga drivers.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
As the Palarong Pambansa 2024 is set to be held in Cebu City come July, the Cebu City Police Office will request for more cops to help secure the upcoming event. The Palaro's organizing committee and acting Mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia are set to meet with the local police to discuss security preparations, among others. In preparation for the event, the recent Central Visayas Regional Athletics Association, or the Siviraa, meet with more than 12,000 delegates was successful and had no reports of negative incidents. Slight fine-tuning to the security preparations will still be done as there are more expected participants to come to the city participating in the Palaro.
And in other global news, in a clear challenge to Tesla's best-selling vehicle, Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer NIO has presented the first vehicle from its new, less expensive brand Onvo. This report will tell us why. William Li, the chief executive officer of NIO, revealed the car in Shanghai and stated that the business wanted to compete with the Toyota RAV4 and Tesla's Model Y. NIO executives mentioned that as part of their plan to break into the family car market, they intend to launch a new Onvo model every year. Furthermore, the L60 SUV is more than 10% less expensive than the world's most popular electric vehicle, Tesla's Model Y, which has a starting price of 219,900 yuan or $30,465. Nevertheless, it is subject to 100% tariffs in the US and is the subject of ongoing European Union anti-subsidy investigation concerning Chinese imports of electric vehicles. Meanwhile, China's BYD reported a decline in profitability due to a price war in the world's biggest auto market, as well as decreased demand. Marvy Delfin, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
The Comelec suffragettes have risen to 4th place after defeating the Senate Lady Defenders. Meanwhile, the BFP Lady Firefighters continue their hot streak with their 7th straight win. On the other hand, the AFP Lady Gunners finished their game against the SSS Pension Protectors ahead of schedule. JP Nunez reports.
Continuing with the second round elimination of UNTV Volleyball League Season 2 at Paco Arena in Manila. In the first game, the Comelec Suffragettes took the lead with 7 points against the Senate Lady Defenders led by Judith Abil and Danica Gendrauli with a score of 25-18. The Comelec team climbed to 4th place in the team standings after defeating the Senate Lady Defenders. In the second set, the Lady Defenders still struggled against the relentless attacks of Judith Abil and service aces from Gendrauli, resulting in Suffragettes winning the first set with a score of 25-16. In the third set, the Lady Defenders attempted to close the gap but were overwhelmed by consecutive cross attacks and down the line hits from Judith Abil. Ultimately, Comelec emerged victorious with a score of 25-17. They recorded 40 attacks, 1 block, and 9 service aces, with Judith Abil named the best player of the game with 21 attack points.
Nagpursige talaga kami sa ensayo. Yung mga lokal namin, yung mga taga-Comelec talaga, yung mga import, yung lungan ng mga lokal, yung mga import, yung service receive namin, na lagi namin pinapractice, yung gumana, nanalo kami.
First set pa lang, parang wala nang gana yung team. Doon pa lang, nakakuha na ng momentum yung kalaban, nadala na nung second set at saka third set. Plus, nag-e-error pa yung mga mga guest player namin.
Moving on to the second game, the BFP Lady Firefighters secured their 7th straight win after defeating the Judiciary Justice Servers. They unleashed a series of attacks led by AJ Mamangon, Angeli Bentic, and Gang Abellana in the first set. Despite efforts from Justice Servers to bounce back in the second and third sets with combination plays and down-the-line hits, they failed to clinch the victory. The Lady Firefighters won 3 consecutive sets with scores of 25-22, 25-22, and 25-20, with AJ Mamangon named the best player of the game with 8 attacks and 2 service aces. They maintained the third spot with 7 wins and 3 losses, while the Justice Servers sit in 7th place with 3 wins and 6 losses.
Lahat naman po talaga silang team pinagkakatiwalaan namin, lahat silang players. Kaya may mga players din kami hindi masyadong binabad kasi ipe-prepare namin for the next match po.
Medyo kinulang kami sa depensa, parang ang bilis mapagod ng mga players ko, tsaka nagtitinginan ayaw sundan yung bola. Tsaka talagang wala yung communication ng team. Kaya nawawala yung depensa namin.
Moving on to the third game, the AFP Lady Gunners secured victory with 3-0 sweep against the SSS Pension Protectors. From the start of the first set, Hiyari Yonko and Cheryl Jackie unleashed a barrage of attacks against the Pension Protectors. Despite attempts to rally back in the second and third sets with help of Pachari Sengmuang, they couldn't secure the win against the Lady Gunners. The match ended with scores of 25-15, 25-12, and 25-21, with the Lady Gunners recording 37 attack points, 4 blocks, and 13 service aces. Iyari Yonko was named the best player with 17 attacks, 3 blocks, and 2 aces. The Lady Gunners maintained the second spot with 7 wins and 2 losses, while the Pension Protectors remain in 6th place with 3 wins and 6 losses.
Galing kami sa pagkatalo. Yun nga sabi ko nga sa kanila, normal na yung talo kasi lahat naman nag-i-aim na matalo yung AFP. Pero doon sa pagkatalo namin, marami kami natutunan.
Lumaban naman sila kaso parang too late na. Parang naka-adapt sila doon sa sistema ng AFP nung third set na. Parang nasayangan ako dun sa first 2 sets na parang mabigay. Parang hindi sila gumagalaw, sira yung depensa nila, daming errors. Halos kalahati yata ng score ng AFP, score ng errors ng SSS.
Meanwhile, stay tuned for the upcoming matches in the Public Servants League at Win in Sports, Win for Charity. On Sunday, May 19, 2024 at Paco Arena, Manila, the DFA emissaries will face the BFP Lady Firefighters in the first game at noon. This will be followed by the AFP Lady Gunners against the Comelec Suffragettes at 2 p.m. and the Senate Lady Defenders against the PNP Lady Patrollers at 4 p.m. You can watch the live coverage on the social media accounts of UNTV News and Rescue and UNTV Sports. JP Nunez, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 9, it says, "He that saith he is in the light, and hateth his brother, is in darkness even until now." And those are the reasons behind the news, May 17, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Herdine Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.